George, I'm gonna help pull this level up. How are you? How are
I'm
you,
good.
man? You're
I'm
good?
doing good. How are you?
Okay. Okay. I wanted to press record, and hello everyone.
Yeah.
I wanted to press record and ask you that question and
hmm
then see if you said, "Oh, I'm fine." Did I tell you what fine stands for? You
Yeah,
didn't,
I
I
looked
think.
that up, and you know what? Ever since finding out what FINE stands for, I noticed I started saying it more, which I don't want to.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah, I'm good. I'm great. Fine.
okay.
I forgot what is fine. Remind me and let everyone know what fine stands for because I forget.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it with everyone too. I was
Yeah.
told a while back, FINE stands for feelings I'm not expressing or feelings
No.
I'm not yet expressing. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds kind of like it.
Yeah.
So tell me, George, and I have things we can definitely cover. I know
Mhm.
when we talked a little bit, you're like, I'm good. I'm hanging back. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with you? What mode do you find yourself in this week, my friend?
Um, just kind of getting chores done mode, getting caught up with things I think that I've kind of let slide around the house,
Okay.
and really just enjoying the weather. We had a little batch of hard rains and yucky humidity, and right now it's kind of cool and breezy and sunny. So I've been doing some stuff outside today, so that's good.
That's gotcha. Yeah, it's cooler here too. It
Mm-hmm.
rained yesterday, and just like typical when a
Mm-hmm.
storm comes through, then there's a cold front, or relative cold.
Yeah,
So it's probably in 60s, where it'll probably be in the 80s a little bit, further
mm-hmm.
out. But
Yeah.
the the episode I did a couple hours ago was with
Mm-hmm.
Jill Woodworth, and she is in Massachusetts, and I think it snowed yet,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's
Yeah.
still winter's still hanging on up there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but what? So I know you're kind of hanging back a little bit and getting things done around the yard and everything.
Mhm.
Have you been online much lately? I know you were kind of fading back from that a little bit.
A little bit. I'm not getting much out of it right now, so yeah, I'm kind of not
Yeah,
too much on there.
I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, I saw a couple Supreme Court things that came through today.
Mm.
Sounded like
Okay.
they were leaning in a direction that'll cause some people to be happy and some people to be not. So we'll see how that
Okay.
goes. But
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna tell you the whole pieces of everything in this week, but I'll kind of share a little bit of a peeking behind the curtain.
Okay.
So I think, George, at this point, not I think, I know, at this
Mm.
point, George, I've had a good arrival that on many things because of the amount of healing sessions that I've done, which I'm north of 80 now at this point, and over
Oh
a
wow.
dozen people. Yeah, yeah, it's been an amazing ride, and
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, and I feel like people, have gotten help from it to a certain extent, but I also know that some people that I have given this to, they're I can feel on their side too, not during it. I mean, kind of just afterwards or just in talking with them, that some of them are really ready to do the work themselves too for them, because it's not a magic elixir. It's not a
Right.
one thing and done. Some of them kind of are coming to realize that, and some of them maybe not so much. And it's been really interesting. So I say all that to say I've kind of leaned into sort of next steps for me, and
Oh, okay.
this phase that I'm in, that I'm kind of going through. So
hmm
here's a couple of the bullet points I'll give you.
Okay.
So um, I I will be doing for myself, and I don't know if you've heard of this or done it yourself, but I'm going to get a shamanic soul retrieval session for
Oh
me.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever done it? Do you know much
No,
about it?
I've never done that. Why don't you explain a little bit for everyone that doesn't know what it is about?
Yeah, and I'll explain more, of course, afterwards. And the person that's going to give me this, I'm gonna ask them after the fact, after it
Mhm.
happens, if maybe she'll come on and talk about it, because she does it for many people.
Okay.
I met her through a mutual friend, and my understanding, and I won't do it justice to explain it all, but I'm going to continue documenting this. But a lot of it is to give you, kind of a bit of insight as to, your current life and maybe any people and their energy that you may need to, what's called cord cutting, kind of
Okay.
either people that are currently in your life or maybe, past friends or family that you don't talk to as much now, but still kind of hang on to some part of you or
Mm.
you them, previous relationships, stuff like that. So, if you like, you can bring a list of people that you feel like you really need to kind of realign with in your life, and have this person who's a healer who gives it to you can kind of delve into that a little bit, and even go to the level of looking at what your previous lives were on this wonderful construct that we are, and kind of see where that
Mm.
is.
Mm.
And part of what I'm going to ask when we start the session is I'm going to say, well, she says to bring a list of these people. And I'm thinking of two lists. And George, I really rationalize things a lot, right?
Yeah.
I want to be down here, but I'm trying to think from my head. And I'm like, how do I
Mm.
get the best effectiveness out of these couple
Yeah.
hours and stuff? So, you know, this is me.
Yeah.
So I made one list, which is of a couple, which was larger, of many people that are not, it's not just ones that I think that, well, maybe I need to forgive myself and them for more than I really realize I have now. But then I also thought of people like you, George, and others, of like,
Mhm.
I'd really love to know of what our previous lives were together.
Mhm.
Were you and I, related brothers,
Mhm.
father, son, great, that kind of stuff,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
or were we at war with each other and now we're on the other side, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I need to ask that question because my list of people that I think that I need to forgive is
Mm.
pretty small. It's a handful. But
Yeah.
then people like yourself, I'm like, I would really be interested to know. But then
Mhm.
that's where I'm at in my too much in my head, probably, of
Yeah.
thinking like, well, what
Okay.
could I find out? Because I mean,
Mhm.
I'm pretty excited about it. Actually, very
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I get that in a couple weeks, and it'll be
Yeah.
an early birthday present to myself.
Cool.
And then I'll report out the news. Um, but yeah, I'll keep you and everyone updated. I appreciate you
Yeah.
letting me
Yeah.
share
I'll
that.
be looking forward to see what that was like.
I have another thing I want to ask you about.
Okay.
So yesterday I was in a different state, interviewing for a position, a real job, right?
Mhm.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
And I got through the interview. The interview went well. The details of that don't matter right now,
Mhm.
but I got to the airport and I didn't realize it probably till I got through security. But then I started looking around at everyone, and of course, me. I'm listening to podcasts and I'm having all this existential things, and other people
Yeah.
have no idea what I'm doing. And I start looking around at people, and without really realizing it, everyone started looking familiar. And I mean
Mhm.
every single person, from
Oh, yeah.
someone changing out a waste paper can to a little baby that was being walked off the airport
Mhm.
with his or her mother. Um, all different complexions, all walks
Mhm.
of life, all different nationalities. And for a little while, I was like, well, maybe it's just a couple people. So then I started testing this again, I'm
Yeah.
rationalizing. Then I started testing it, but it was every single person in every seat, everywhere.
Mhm.
And I started to think, I'm like, is it because I'm seeing a part of me in every person? It's not because I really know them. It's not because I know them in this life.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering out loud if it's a further realization of the lucid dream that is this life for me and my
Yeah.
experience, and how I'm really able to kind of step back or step out of my persona, if you will, of real life, and
Mhm.
see that all of us are one. All of us are the
Yeah.
same pieces of each other, and the universe understanding itself. That's how wide metaphysical I went with it. I'd love to hear
Yeah.
what you think about that. If you've ever had that experience yourself, because I hadn't up until yesterday ever noticed that. How about you?
Not that way. I've had maybe a person or two that seemed familiar. It's happened every now and again, but it's just like one or two. But it's never been like, oh, I go somewhere and it seemed like I knew everybody. But I wonder if it is the existential way you're saying that it's just because we're all the same and you're just recognizing the bits that are you.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if you kind of did know them, like maybe you're starting to get more in tune with uh, other past simultaneous lives or whatever, that maybe you're linking up that way. I mean,
Maybe so.
I've seen in movies where there are people that are sensitive and they can sense other people. Maybe you did know them. Who knows?
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know.
I don't, I
But
don't
that's
know.
very interesting that you felt that.
Yeah. I thought so too. Um,
It's like the
I
world
was,
is opening up more to you. Like maybe you're able to see or feel things behind the veil, so to speak.
I think it might feel that way. Yeah. And I can tell you, I was really at peace and it was really calming when you, it's probably a normal human thing that, when you feel like you know everyone, you all of a sudden just, it's, and I certainly had a different energy walking into that airport. Like I had to really kind of press myself into, I'm going to say it, a better energy than I was
Yeah.
at. Even though everything went fine, it was an intense kind of energy. So
No, I
um,
bet.
it was interesting that I just came to sort of notice that.
Did you
Um,
feel overwhelmed at all while this was happening?
I did during the interview process itself. There was portions that were overwhelming. Yeah, I was more. There's areas when you're trying to, you're trying to be yourself, but do your best, but be perfect, but be yourself.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
I definitely think I was more in my head than in my heart.
Okay.
And that's okay. I mean, it's things aren't
Hmm.
going to be perfect. So I do think afterwards there was some. I'm going to say there was some fallout probably from that for me
Hmm.
because I'm used to doing
Right.
this with you and I and other people, and so I don't have to. For right now, I wasn't forced to like be in the shit, of
Yeah.
of 3D land. So
Yeah.
that was probably draining. So I did take time to kind of push myself out from that, but I wouldn't have expected that I would have emerged on that, in that kind of way.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, and interestingly, I hadn't. It's been since January since I was doing these healing sessions and meditating to myself too. I'd never done meditation on a plane, let alone a healing session on a plane, and I did both.
Yeah.
And that
Wow.
was that was that was interesting.
A different Mile
Um,
High Club.
well, and I mean, dude, you and I are believers in the source field, so I'm like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter where it is. But then I'm
No,
thinking
right?
of like the physics of it. I'm traveling along at however long, what 400 or 500 miles an hour,
Yeah.
doing this or meditating, and like that was really cool to even think about
Hmm.
doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I it
Hmm.
was it was an interesting, great long day, um,
Hmm.
all the way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good.
Um, I got one other thing I want to kind of mention to you. I wanted to see if you run with it somewhere. I need to see if I can find it. I'm not going to pronounce this right, George, but Kabbalion. Have you ever read the Kabbalion? Do you know much about it?
No, I've just kind of read little bits that are tied to it, but yeah, I haven't read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I bring it up because good friend of mine, one that I do a lot of healing sessions for right now, and he's very much focused in on I've got to help people, I've got to educate them.
Hmm.
He's at the level, and this is not a judgment. There's no attachment to what I say, but he's probably at the level what you and I were maybe 6 months or a year ago, where he's got to keep just pushing things about the travesties of the world, and his heart is in the right place. His
Yeah.
intentions are in the right place, but he does run himself into the ground. I think he'd even admit that. I won't say his name; that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he does really want to be a caretaker of me too. So whether that's he feels obligated because of the help that I'm giving him, but He really likes to send things to me and kind of package them in a way that there are bite-sized chunks and that kind of thing. And he kept bringing up, you need to read the Kabbalion, you need to read this, you need to read it. Can I give you at least a snippet, a chapter? And I finally had to say, don't send it to me anymore. Like
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I have too much reading as it is right now, so I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I want to say this for anyone that I'm just giving my experience, but for anyone that might feel that way too, where you're like, is this one more book that I need to read? And I got to jump on this and all that. And for a period of
Mhm.
time, I was in that kind of situation. And I said no. And wouldn't you know it, George, that I'd listened to a couple podcasts, and then that led me to a different one, and led me to a different one. And then the last one that I finally clicked on when I was in the airport was the same book that he was telling me about that
Mhm.
that that they're reading. So then I found a podcast which I got to go back and listen to,
Mhm.
of saying how wonderful and amazing this book was, and how
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
people really need to read it and all that. And I'm like, okay, universe, all
Yeah.
right, I hear you. And um, it gave me it gave me a sense of comfort, because
Mhm.
even though I do believe that timing is always perfect, and if something's meant to come into your life, it's going to come back. Like you mentioned meeting your wife and how you did that, and you're like, all right, I'm going to
Mhm.
just leave this to the process and the path, and she'll come back to me
Yeah.
if she is. Not come back, but reach out. Um, I think it's a good reminder for everyone to keep in mind that you're not running out of time. You don't need
Mhm.
to do things right exactly this second or in an hour or 2 hours. If it's really meant to be, it will come around to you in the way that
Right.
it's supposed to. Probably not in the way you expect, but in the way it's supposed to.
Mhm.
So that was the message that I wanted to try and share with you and a couple others today. I
Mhm.
know you might not have too many topics you want to bring up, and that's good. I
Yeah.
respect that. But that's kind of what I wanted to leave everyone with on this conversation from my side. That
Okay.
you're not out of time. You don't need to get every single thing done today that you needed to, and just know that. Just know that it will. You are soul safe if you choose to be. I believe
Mhm.
that. And
Yeah.
if something needs to be learned for you, then it's going to come back up. And if there's a book that you feel like you need to read, but you don't, necessarily have the time, and if you don't get signs to read it, that might mean that you actually don't need to read it right now. That might mean that you're just
Mhm.
okay with where you're at. You've already learned that lesson, perhaps, or it's not ready for you yet. It'll come up in a month
Mhm.
or a year or something like that. So,
Yeah. On that note, too, with books, like I think people feel that okay, you start a book, you got to finish it now. And there was this person that would say that they would read a book until they came up to something that was actionable in the book that really resonated with them and they felt could really improve their lives. And
oh,
then they would put the book away and go take action instead of continuing to read the book and be like, oh, and I got all these 50 things to do now. They say,
right.
read the book until you get to the one thing that's valuable to you that's going to help, and then go do it and put the book away. And that's kind of hard because like I like to start and finish things. So
Me too.
I
You and me
have like
both.
three or four books that aren't finished right now, but it's okay because I've gotten what I needed to from them so far, and I can always go back later if I want to
Right.
finish them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I have a book that right before we started this podcast, I have a book that I started, and I don't know, I got a third of the way through or something like
Yeah.
that. And I kind of felt the same thing, things, and it wasn't that life got in the way. It's just other things that I felt like needed to be actionable. I like that you use that word, that
Yeah.
there's other things and actions that we're taking right now and helping. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That gives me a little solace, because I know whatever's in that book will come back up
Mhm.
in whatever time frame that it needs to be. So very cool,
Yeah.
very cool,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Not really. Not right now. Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We're doing a space on. Well, I'm not. You're doing a space
You're
on
not.
Friday, correct?
Yeah. I'm doing a space
Yeah,
on Friday.
yeah. And for those of you that may listen to this, George and I do a space every Friday, an X space. That's what it's called. I should probably clarify.
Yeah.
um,
Spaces, like
yeah, on
spaces, I think. Yeah.
yeah on X, formerly known as Twitter. We'll do spaces
Yeah.
on Fridays. Right now, they're at 11 Central. So George will
Yeah.
do this one solo. I know it'll go amazing. You'll have so many more
Yeah.
things because I'm not. grabbing up all the airtime talking.
Yeah.
And then I'll be back next Friday. Next Friday we'll do one too.
Awesome.
So, all right. Well, brother, thank you for taking a little bit of time with me. Thank
Yeah,
you,
sure.
everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah. Nice time with you, bro.
All right. Thanks. I'll see you, George. Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.